Hello, welcome to East Asia Monitor. This is the 11th session of the 9 report. Today I'd like to talk about the analysis of the Korean election. April 11th, we had a general election in Korea. The 9 report is produced and uploaded on the 9th, 19th, and 29th of the month. I'm a complete political economist with a focus on Japan, but I'm doing this show in Seoul, Korea these days. On the general election, electing members of National Assembly on April 10th for 300 seats showed the result of a victory of Democratic Party under Jae-myung. They earned 169 seats, but together the 2 seats from their minor partner of National Progress Alliance. So out of 300 seats, liberal members accounted for 170 seats, and then conservatives, of which the main party is the People Power under former prosecutor Han Dong-un, got only 90, and their sister party, People's Future Party, got 18. So it accounts for 108 seats. And then we had a New Reform Party, Rebuilding Korea Party under Cho-guk. Cho-guk is a former prosecutor and who was the member of the presidential staff of Moon Jae-in. So he actually is a liberal person, and this Cho-guk's Rebuilding Korea Party is forecast to work with the Democratic Party. So if we combine Democratic Party and its sister party and Rebuilding Korea Party, we have about 190 seats out of 300. So that means they become a majority in the new Korean National Assembly, which will have a tremendous impact on the policy formulation and execution of President Yoon Suk-yeol. So why did the ruling party lose? In the post-war period, that the ruling party is superior to the non-ruling party. It's kind of a general rule, but it was broken this time. So opposition party became the the dominant party in the National Assembly. There are several explanations. One is some abstract. That is opposition and anger against the authoritarianism of President Yoon government was one important reason. And also, so those conservative people have a vested interest, and their self-righteousness and moral hazard became the determinant for the people to vote for the liberal party. And also, in that sense, Yoon Suk-yeol government and the people who support him, the conservative people, altogether show a potential of governability crisis, and expectation for a more diverse society has been really dwindled, has been weakened. These are, in a sense, abstract explanations for the failure of the ruling party. And there are some concrete explanations too. That is, political party, incumbent party, and the government has not been in really harmonious, in the environment. So they were, in a sense, separated. The teamwork was really, bad. So that led to the kind of wonder, or expectation that President Yoon's time will be very tough from now. The lame duck is, appearing and even accelerating, even though he has, more than 2 years to go during his tenure. So this election is important not only in the sense that Liberal Party became the dominant party in the National Assembly, but it will have a really tremendous impact on the president's politics and government management from now on. So, not all presidents have been very popular in the post-war period in Korea, but this particular president, Yoon, is really kind of focus of disappointment and concern, very, conspicuously, in contrast with other presidents, even those Liberal Party presidents, such as, Kim Dae-jung, Moon Jae-in, and Roh Moo-hyun. And one explanation could be found from his background. He was born in 1960. He's 63 years old. But he had been a student until age 28. So he went to college and graduate school and took the national exam to become a lawyer. And at 28, so it was very late start for him. And since then, he has been as a prosecutor more than 30 years. So that means before becoming a presidential candidate, he was a student and prosecutor. So this is a really, really simplistic, simple background for a national leader compared to many other, former presidents, prime ministers, etc. So he's a really rare political product of post-war Korea. And he was elected in May 2022. So, he was only 2 years. So he has 3 years to go. But these 3 years will be very tough, maybe tough for him, because his party is not, dominant party, not majority party. Now, let's take a look at this voting behavior, voting pattern of Korea. One conspicuous, one really remarkable phenomenon of current Korea is a really strict divide between liberals and conservatives. And that division is particularly, clear in terms of age, not ideology. So today's, Koreans of 30s and 40s and 50s, they are the majority people in all walks of life, particularly business, right? And then we have 60s and 70s and 80s, senior people who had been main force of Korea's post-war economic miracle, but now they are almost retired. And these are the 30, 40, 50s generations are basically liberal, while they're actually, seniors, 60s, 70s are conservative. But trend is, in the past, National Assembly election of 12, 16, and 20, the liberal generations have actually larger than senior generation, 32, 40, 38 trend versus 35, 30, 27. But this election on April 10th, 37% of the voters were 30 on the younger generation, 30s and 40s and 50s, and then only 24 from the senior generation. So they got defeated, naturally. The loyalty of the 60s and 70s to conservative party is very strong. At the same time, this younger generations, loyalty to progressive parties also very strong too. But next general election in 2028, the shrinking trend of younger generation is actually far smaller than the senior generation, because senior generation people, because of illness or natural age, etc., they pass away. So it is expected in the next general election, this younger generation, blue generation, will account for about 36%, while the senior red generation will only 21. That means, reflecting on the past, rules, Progressive Party, even leftist party, will become dominant over Conservative Party. So this is really important, because this is the real terrain. This is the soil of Korean political, system and political all kind of policies. This is the really ground for Korean politics. So ground is becoming blue. Ground is becoming liberal, not conservative in Korea. So this transformation, if you look at several factors, one is we have this series of liberal presidents, Kim Dae-jung, Roh Moo-hyun, Moon Jae-in, and now Lee Jae-myung. Okay, so in a sense, linear progression of Liberal Party success. And here we have Lee Jae-myung. All politicians are different, but Lee Jae-myung is particularly different compared to former liberal presidents of Kim Dae-jung, Roh Moo-hyun, and Moon Jae-in. Lee Jae-myung is more active, more assertive, and also he's more leftist than other former liberal presidents. So we call this, Lee Jae-myung a phenomenon. This is a phenomenon. As you know, Korean society values, academic credential very much. But Mr. Lee comes from a really broken family. He was a factory worker when he was early teens, 13, 14, 15. Then later he went to high school and finished college. But he represents social underdogs, not top dogs. So many Korean people of below middle class stratum are really big fans of Lee Jae-myung. So that is a really biggest engine for him to promote his political programs. In a sense, Korea has been in the post period, has several particular qualities, such as pro-Americanism, very pro-elite, emphasizing academic credentials, really stark class divisions, etc. So Korea has been a very conservative, successor oriented society. But this person really comes from a non-elite, even, vulgar could not be, maybe not a relevant as adjective, but he doesn't come from a really normal, quiet, peaceful middle class family. He comes from a really fighting, underdog family. He's a non-elite. Okay, so this really, in a sense, consciously, Lee Jae-myung himself is really a challenge a lot for conservatives and elites. Okay, so that's why Korean politics is very harsh today. This is not really competition between conservatives, liberals in the UK. But this is a very, very intensive, emotion-laden conflict between the haves and have-nots. And then with this Democratic Party is now won the election, but still they are not a really majority in terms of counting. So in order to pass many important laws, they need a partner so that they can clear 180 seats out of 300. So they need a partner. Then we have a great partner here. That is Cho-guk. Cho-guk is basically a lawyer, but who Cho-guk became really loyal and highly respected, chief staff member of President Moon Jae-in. So he's a really big fan of President Moon. So that means he is, in a sense, he doesn't, even though he may not respect Lee Jae-myung, but he is in the neighborhood of Lee Jae-myung as a non-conservative, top dog threat. So if Cho-guk, even though he has only 12 seats, 11 or 12 seats, a very tiny party, in his first attempt to a national election, if Cho-guk's party and Lee Jae-myung's party combine, it clears the hurdle of 180 seats because it becomes 191 something out of 300. So they can pass many laws together. So this is really maybe biggest point of this election. So that means really in front of Yoon Suk-yeol as a politician with really scarce experience and background of a student and a prosecutor, he will have a really tough time from now on, because this is also is very stubborn, very he's not really flexible, so he's very strong-willed, stubborn amateur president with no political experience will eventually actually weaken his own government in the fight with the Democratic Party the opponents. Then his key, President Yoon's really three major reform goals of education, pension, labor its realization will become very difficult because he has no power in the National Assembly, and this will actually weaken the combination, the entire organic cooperation between the President's office and the National Assembly's incumbent party. The interim diplomacy whether actually President Yoon actually has visited U.S. and now try to promote a relation with Japan, but new actually dominant party under Lee Jae-myung will have some skepticism of U.S. initiative in world politics, even though they are not socialist, but they are not staunchy capitalist as well. So Korean diplomacy will become quite difficult to manage for Yoon Suk-yeol from now on because of this, socialist, prone larger party of under Lee Jae-myung. And in a sense, some scholars say that this may be the beginning of the end of Cold War structure in Korea. So Cold War structure since 1945 in Korea has been a really major thread of national fabric, but now that is going to be challenged by this, large party under Lee Jae-myung. And also at an individual level, the legal risk, is going on with Lee Jae-myung. He has, dozens of actually lawsuits are going on. So if any one of in one of those lawsuits, if he gets a fine of more than 1 million won, he will lose the entitlement to run for presidency in 2027. So this is really, even though he won the election this time, so even though he became the party leader, this is really serious potential setback for him to become a bona fide national leader. And Cho-guk, the person I mentioned, he has somehow also lawsuit involved with his daughter's really entrance, college entrance exam fraud. These are really rare, something very rare. We hear about the family of, at the national political level. If this he's convicted finally, he will lose National Assembly seat. Then his party will be in trouble. He's the only actually, really dominant figure of a small party of 11 members. And also, Yoon Suk-yeol's spouse, Ms. Kim Gun-hee, has a really serious lawsuits going on. Particularly one is, Ms. Kim and her mother were very wealthy people, and they had been in stock price things for a long time. So naturally, there's actually a case about stock price manipulation. So this is quite serious. So in a sense, for Mr. Yoon, his spouse's legal troubles have been a really, important factor, negative factor for him to run, to work as a president, and also run his party. And President Yoon himself has a very small, minor violation of Election Act, but this may not really touch his status as a president either. But this is really, in a sense, negative factor for his fame and honor. Okay, this is for today. Thank you very much for your attention, and please subscribe. And if you have any question, please write to that email below, and I'll try to answer your question. Thank you very much.